All right, let's get on to AEW and Dynamite. All right, the opening match for this is a tag team match with Christian Cage and Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White and Juice Robinson. I will say this: Juice is without a doubt my favorite person in this whole match.
Yeah, I agree.
Without a doubt, he is a standout. I don't know why no one does more with Juice Robinson at this point. I just found out he's married to Toni Storm.
No, I hate him.
I don't know if I hate him, but he's like if you think she's interesting in the ring, you should see her in real life. She yells at me. I did not. So here's the thing. I think this was a good match. It starts off with some actual wrestling. It breaks down pretty quickly, but you can definitely tell Christian is the general of this match. There's not a lot of silliness. It's overall a good tag team match. And I wrote, if the rest of the show is like this, I'll be happy. And then my next line is, okay, the end of the match is just madness. There's no rules, there's no counts, there's no tags. Kip Sabian hits Juice with the contract box. Hangman hits him with the dead eye, and the heels win. Obviously, Juice is the only one not involved in anything going on with Full Gear or a major storyline right now. So he was going to have to be the one that took the loss here. I am excited for Hangman versus Jay White. I don't know if I'm excited over Christian and Hook happening, but maybe Christian can bring out the best in Hook.
So the thing I was surprised most with was how much I liked Paige and Christian together.
I did like them together.
I can't quantify it. It was just like something right about that.
And I could see this working. You know what? They're both pretty good tag team wrestlers.
Yeah, and I mean, Christian would be a better father to Paige's kids. So maybe Paige is trying to learn from the best. That's see what they're doing here.
Aha. And there's Hound with that degree figuring it out. Figuring it out.
But it was look, man, it was a good opener. Did what it needed to do. The right person, the right team won. Going into the paper, well, we can call it a pay-per-view. Actually,
yes,
going into the
pay-per-view for AEW.
So we can call it, but the right things happened. And yes, and when you talk about chaos, that's every AEW tag match. At some point, we don't know who the hell is legal, and somebody's getting hit with a toaster.
By the way, where I have here, if the rest of the show is like this, I'll be happy. Let me give you a spoiler. The rest of the show is not like this. We get a backstage with Mercedes already treating Camille like a peasant. She's dropped from being the China of the promotion to holding Mercedes' bag, and they get put through a wall. Because I don't know why they keep putting people through walls. First of all, it's not believable. I know what the backstage of stadiums and arenas look like. There's no plaster. Like there's no drywall back there to be put through. No one's getting put through a cinder block.
Says you, but yes, I know what you're saying there. I keep saying that I don't like how they kind of keep redoing these storylines. And in a weird way, I'm getting this odd feeling that they're taking inspiration for Camille and Mercedes from Wardlow and MJF.
Oh, they absolutely are. They're gonna turn it into Camille versus Mercedes. Like I don't think this is gonna be. I don't think Statlander is the person to take this off of her. I wouldn't even be surprised. And here's another thing. You want to know who else we haven't seen since in quite a while? Willow.
It's a crying shame.
It's actually a crying shame, not just because you're in love with Willow, but
me? No.
Un poquito. No, how would I know? How would I know?
Quito.
But yeah, like I realized like we didn't see Statlander for a month while Willow was chasing after the AEW World Title, the Women's World Title, and then Willow's been gone and Statlander's been back to being a babyface. When did she? First of all, when did she become a babyface? Oh, that's right. When she decided she wanted to get a fight with Mercedes Monet. That's the only reason why she's a babyface. The last thing we had was her doing a split on Thumbtacks. Sorry, I got to bring that up to you again now.
Yeah.
Just all around this storyline is everything involving Mercedes is just meh at best lately. I'm sorry.
I'd go so far as to say it's not money.
Oh, you know what's funny is we were talking about Jakara Jackson earlier for NXT. Jakara Jackson is what Mercedes kind of should be in the ring. Because she's a little bigger. She's got a little bit more of that meat on her. She seems like she can probably pull off the power moves that Mercedes wants to pull off. She's gonna be Sasha Financial Institution.
When you were saying that, I just had this vision of Mercedes Monet just as a Powerpuff Girl. Like it's like I think that's what she thinks she is. Like
the green one specifically.
Yeah, Buttercup. Toughest fighter. Powerpuff save the day. Da, da, da.
Oh man.
All right. Yeah, she thinks she can pick up a building and hit somebody with it. And no.
No. All right. Oh man. We get Will Ospreay in ring promo. Finding my words there, pal. He calls out Kyle Fletcher. So I like Fletcher's kind of overall look here. Like I like how they've got him dressed. This is I literally have it written just like this. This might be petty on my part, but I hate it when people wear a real watch and like an Apple smartwatch / tracker on like the other wrist. I think it's the worst thing ever. I think it's stupid. As far as fashion goes. And if you are trying to make this guy look like he's more grown up, I think it's even worse.
Okay. Well, I will say I was not that attentive to detail there.
Again, I preface this with, this might just be me being petty.
This is you being petty.
It's totally me being petty, but I'm being petty about fashion, not about wrestling. See?
Okay. Listen here, pal. Okay.
I know what pal means. I know what you're calling me.
Yes. So I am 100%.
Listen, buddy.
I'm 100% calling you pal here because I have known you for half my life. You and I, sir, we are jeans, t-shirt, hoodie, sweatpants, shorts guys. We have no room for fashion critiquing. Okay? Do you want to know what I'm in right now? A black hoodie and black sweats. Okay? Sorry to suspend disbelief that maybe I'm dressed up.
I actually thought it was going to be gym shorts. I'm not going to lie.
No, it's getting cold up here.
I figured, but you're home for the night, so I figured there was a real good chance that basketball shorts had gotten thrown on by this point. I actually really like this promo though. This promo was good. The line Ospreay hits where Kyle is talking about how he's just doing what Ospreay would do, even though he's nothing like him. And Ospreay says, "Pick a lane. Are you nothing like me, or are you just an Ospreay clone?" Like, I really like that line. Like, it's one of those you could tell it was off the cuff for Ospreay. And I know I constantly say I think that he needs to have a little bit of an agent on his promos. This was one of those times I thought he did very well. I think he's coming along a bit better. It's not that his promos are necessarily bad. I think they could just be better. And I'm saying like they're good. They could be great.
Yeah, that line from Ospreay made me do like the stink face where I was like, yeah. Like, the good stink face.
Yeah, and like we're getting it.
Yeah, it's Look, man, the promo got across what it needed to get across. Kyle Fletcher is starting to seem more and more credible through this, which is good.
Which
And
is also what it needs to get across.
And it wouldn't even be the worst thing in the world if Kyle Fletcher comes out on top when they have their match. So it's doing what it needs to do, and having Will Ospreay there to kind of guide Kyle Fletcher through this is smart.
I agree, and you do have that background relationship with them, which obviously gives you a better comfort level once you're in the ring. So this ends up breaking down into a melee between Ospreay and Kyle and Hobbs and I think Takeshita. Yes, I believe it's Takeshita.
Yeah.
And then Mark Davis, who still actually knows who he is, and somebody, and basically the Don Callis family and the rest of this group. Just all breaks down into a bunch of stuff, and it turns into Lance Archer versus Roderick Strong without us ever getting time to this promo doesn't breathe. We never get a chance to let this promo breathe and take it into account. This is the AEW MO. They've just overbooked this. And here's the problem is they do it here and they immediately do it with the next segment.
So, okay. AEW, and this is a phrase I had to use at my job recently when I was fixing a problem that I did not create and everybody around could not fix it.
Also sounds like, never mind.
Yeah.
I cut myself off there.
The AEW with their booking, and forgive the fact that I'm about to use a cuss word here, but their booking is 10 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag.
It's just too much. Everything is overbooked.
Yeah.
That's who it was. Hobbs was fighting Brian Cage, and during this match, Brian Cage comes back out. And literally my question is, where did Brian Cage come from? He was fighting Hobbs. Did Hobbs just stop fighting him for some reason? That doesn't make any sense. And even if they were pulled apart, you're telling me that security and the referees and stuff just let him wander willy-nilly back into the arena?
Perfect continuity.
Completely. The Undisputed Kingdom comes out too. I get it. This is allegedly this is a no rules match. Lazy booking. And my next part of this is maybe Mox is in charge of creative. I put here, which I'm actually wrong. Roddy wins this match, of course, because it has to be a 3-way match at Full Gear. Spoiler alert, is not going to be a 3-way match at Full Gear because immediately after Roddy wins the match, Takeshita comes out and jumps Roddy, leading right into Adam Cole versus Takeshita. We don't even get entrances anymore. We're just getting matches. We literally just did the same segue into the match 2 segments in a row. There's nothing different about what we just did.
I want
you to explain it to me. I need someone to tell me to be nice to them.
Okay. It's visual, so anybody watching on YouTube, you'll get what I'm doing. And this is something that you and I know very well. So the way that all goes on is they were just like, woo, I go. That's all it was.
It's what it seems like. I mean,
they're cramming.
This isn't more. Yeah, this isn't more bang for your buck. I get what you're trying to do, but this isn't doing it.
Yeah, they're trying to. In a weird way, they're trying. I think they're almost trying to say, percentage-wise, we deliver more. They're trying to find something to hang their hat on.
The problem with that is where, AEW in general is blowing through alleged dream matches like candy.
Well, it could be because Okay. Let's see what happens after the pay-per-view. Okay, because don't forget, this is kind of no. Actually, no.
Hard reset.
I almost misspoke, but it's the week before the go home. So the AEW tends to try to, as they get closer to their pay-per-view, they tend to try to cram more and more and more, almost as if they're trying to tell all these storylines at once. And that's the problem. It's not that they aren't telling stories. It's instead of telling 3 really good ones, they're telling 10 subpar ones. And I don't know about you, but I can't follow 10 storylines at once. I can follow 2 or 3, and then you find which one you're most invested in. And I love having debates with folks about that, where, right now you could be sitting there talking about, I'm excited about the bloodline in WWE, while the secondary thing, well, I'm more excited because of Cody and Kevin. And then the third, I'm more excited for Gunther Damian. And those are 3 right there. And that's just in the men's division.
Exactly.
And that right there is enough. We don't need 15 storylines coming together, and especially when they're all disjointed. It's all got to be, every one of these storylines needs to essentially kind of be a little running stream that gets back to the main big body of water and flows in that direction. And I'm sorry, too many of these damn things are running off and becoming little puddles where fish die. That's the end of it. And that's the problem, is if they could bring this all back in. I don't need some deep dive lore thing about how, 6 years ago on the first AEW Dynamite, this person looked at this hard camera and this circled all the way back 6 years later and made no goddamn sense.
None whatsoever. You know what else doesn't make any sense?
AEW.
Adam Cole kind of not winning this match. It actually, like this whole cup, him not winning this match or him not being involved in this 3-way completely just kind of derails his comeback, doesn't it?
I threw my hands up and walked away. Like, first of all, there's no world where Adam Cole should be beating Takeshita.
No, I agree with the outcome where Takeshita wins this match. Or at least Takeshita gets disqualified. That's what I thought we were building towards, was Takeshita getting disqualified. Which that I could have gone down that road. He hits him with the ring, he gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. Ref goes to raise his hand, he sees the ring. It's a tale as old as time. It's like Beauty and the Beast at this point. You know what's gonna happen. He falls in love with her, she hates him, she still hates him. It's the tale of our life. But anyway,
tale of every one of my relationships. I fall in love, she hates me.
Jesus. But like they had this match, and I said going into this, like, you can't have Adam Cole win this clean, right? Like, and I was getting real nervous it was gonna happen. Like, he's gonna win this clean. They're building Takeshita up as this force, and Adam Cole's about to beat him clean after Roderick Strong just beat Lance Archer clean.
Listen, Takeshita ain't losing clean until I get to him. Fucking COVID. Bastard. Shake my fist at you. I have no beef with Takeshita. I love this.
I'm gonna send him clips, all of these clips of you calling him out, and I'm gonna pray that he just shows up. Listen, you got like 6 days, and he's by you.
No, I'm by him. Get it right.
Oh yeah. He just happens to fly into like Atlantic City, so he has to drive past your house.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll be waiting at the rest stop, pal.
Oh, he called you pal now too, Takeshita. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to move on to something even more confusing. More confusing. That's right. We're getting more confusing now. We get the Mox World Order takeovers area. They say Moxley's going to take over the Superstation. I will say this. Nice thing about it was at least it was a short segment.
I hate the fact that I'm going to say this right now, and I kind of half said it last time we spoke. I'm over it already.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
I have questions even for this that don't make sense. Like, so they come out and they're beating up I forget his name, JD something. Out on the rampway. He's one of the guys that usually works Ring of Honor a lot of times, and they're beating him down, and it's Eula Wheeler. Wheeler Yuta and Claudio beating him down on the ramp. But why are they coming out through the ramp? But Moxley's coming out through the crowd. Like, that doesn't make any. Shouldn't the whole group be coming out together?
Oh no! Listen, they're flanking themselves. This is advanced tactics that you and I can't wrap our heads around.
You can never understand it.
Now, they're fighting a war from two fronts by being only 5 people. Smart.
That totally works in Risk, right? Like, that's how you win a war.
So listen, 100%.
Wait, Hitler's ruling the world, right? Oh no. 2-front war. Got it. Fucking idiot.
So
excuse my language. I'm gonna say it again. The fucking idiot. All right. So we get Orange Cassidy coming out to interrupt the whole thing. He's wearing all black, which means he's super serious. Orange Cassidy. I actually do like that, by the way. I appreciate that he makes a visual change to try to be more serious here. I realize he's still just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but all black. And technically they're jeggings.
Could we go so far as to say he went from freshly squeezed to concentrate?
Oh.
Ooh.
You said it.
I did. I'm dad joking it up, man.
The best was when Scarps was still with us. He literally said, he's like, what are you going to do? Take away his suntan lotion so he has to be regular Cassidy or red Cassidy? I was like, I hate you. I hate you. So Cassidy says that he has to handle Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta says he's not a pawn, followed by Claudio going, shut up. And Wheeler Yuta shuts up.
It was so perfect.
It's the best part of the whole segment, by the way. Oh.
And I don't think... I almost don't think Claudio realized just how wonderful that was.
I don't think so either, but everybody's talking about it, and we all love it. Listen.
I will not be told what to do. Shut up. And every one of us growing up as kids had that moment where you're like, and nobody's going to tell me what to do. Go clean your room. Okay.
Oh, man. So then as the MWO, the Mox World Order, if you will, is leaving, Darby dives on them again, causing another gang fight. No reason. Is this the third gang fight on this show? It is, right? Like, I'm not miscounting. Well, by the way, we're just over the first hour. Had 3 melees. Thank you, John Moxley. I do like that Claudio is being painted as a beast, though, during this.
Finally.
Like, he's being shown as like, the way he nails Darby with, like, he carries him. I know Darby's not the biggest dude in the world, but running with, like, 160 pounds, still kind of impressive. And he literally slams him into the garage door and then bounces him into the swing. Like, come on, man.
He hit him with the building.
He hit him with the building.
Yeah.
He hit the building with him several times.
You're right. I just want to imagine him hitting him with the building. That's all.
He could have lifted up the building.
I don't doubt it. He's a freak.
Again, I want him and Shelton so badly. I want him and Bud. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Buddy Murphy. Which one are we now? We're Matthews again, right?
I want him and Brody King to just fight.
Yes. And they were about to leave without Wheeler Yuta.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm going to move on to something I was actually excited about. Britt Baker versus Penelope Ford. I'm actually excited about this. Penelope Ford really impressed me last week. and now I'm excited for her to have this match with Britt Baker. I keep being impressed with Penelope Ford. I actually found out why she hasn't been on television the last 2 years, and now I'm giving her a little leeway, and it was for personal reasons, and I'm gonna let her have her. I'm gonna let her have her comeback because she's doing great work out there. The only disappointment I have in this is Britt Baker won this, and I really wanted Penelope Ford to win this. And I knew Britt was going to win this, but I would have loved to have seen this be the start of a big push for Penelope Ford.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, but you know as well as I do, Britt Baker had to win that.
I do, and I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just that part of me that again, it's that the same kid who liked the 1-2-3 kid.
Yeah.
Even though you knew he probably wasn't winning the world title. I kind of wanted that for Penelope Ford right here. Like I thought that would have been really cool.
I love the finishing sequence of what was that? Was it the what is it's not the cattle mutilation. What is
she
that
calls
submission?
it the lockjaw.
The Penelope Ford. What did she have Britt in? It's not the cattle mutilation. It was that the
surfboard.
It was was it the bridging STO?
Oh, it might have been the bridging STO.
And then Britt reaching across and getting the lockjaw from that to break out of that. I thought, that was a very, very nice closing sequence.
And we get so Britt Baker takes the win, and we get a stare down with her and Serena Deeb. Again, that'll probably be a really good match. I like Serena Deeb. I think she's very, very talented. And then we get this segment. And we get Mina Shirakawa, who I like, and Harley Cameron backstage. These are the exact words I have written here. This was written for 14-year-old boys living in their parents' basement. It was crude, not funny, and kind of dumb. That's all it was.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that other than
that's what I mean. You know what it was is I like Mina Shirakawa, and the fact that we did this bit was just it. I think that's the thing that annoyed me about it. So let's move on to.
She just seemed better than the bit. Is really what it was. Like it was.
She is better than the bit.
It was beneath her, and I see precisely what you're getting at there. It didn't pull. How do I say this nicely? It didn't resonate with me.
Oh, I agree. It didn't hit with me either, and the next match kind of didn't hit with me either. So we get Lio Rush versus Swerve Strickland. I get that they have some type of history on the indies. You want to know who doesn't know that they have some type of history on the indies, no matter how much you say it? Rest of the crowd. Everybody else. And no one cares. Especially since no one realizes that Lio Rush is like 72 years old. All right, he's not that old. But he is like, he's like in his late 30s.
So the only problem I had with the match was fine. But it's like you're saying, this is not one of those. Oh gosh, how do I want to phrase this? It's not one of those things that like everybody knows and doesn't talk about, that the two of them have history on the indies. You didn't need to touch that at all, and you could just say Lio Rush is wrestling Swerve Strickland here, and just let that be, and let the two of them go do their thing. But stop trying to write their history into it when their history means nothing right now.
Nothing whatsoever. And what's more was I'm supposed to believe that Swerve is the most dangerous man in AEW, but Lio Rush is a threat to him? Like, no offense, but Lio Rush hasn't been presented as a threatening guy. Not to mention, I hate to be the guy that brings up the aesthetics. He's still 5'6".
So you can have Lio Rush be an air quotes threat in this, in that he's so fat. Like you had to establish, you'd have to immediately tell the story of how much faster he is and the fact that he's a better striker, and kind of go from there, and attempting to chop the tree down. But ultimately, once once Swerve gets the heat, it can't 50-50. It has
No.
to 70-30.
That's the thing is, and
this
the
was
match
a 50-50.
This was a 50-50 match. I'm tired of seeing 50-50 matches with Lio Rush. He's not a 50-50 match wrestler. He's an underneath babyface at best.
Yeah, so it's 70-30.
70-30. Can he pull off a win? Yeah. Can he move out of the way of something and hit the top rope and hit a frog splash and win? Yes, he can do all of those things. I'm not saying that he's not a threat in the sense that he can't win this match, but the Swerve that we're supposed to be getting is supposed to be getting ready for Bobby Lashley.
Same size as Lio Rush.
Totally the same size. You meant the shit he took before that, right?
No, I meant if Lio Rush ate himself twice.
No, he'd still be smaller than Bobby Lashley.
Potentially.
But they... So we like I said, it's a good match. It lasts longer than it should have. It was 50-50. It shouldn't have been 50-50. Swerve cuts a promo afterwards, and then the Hurt Syndicate comes out, and Bobby Lashley destroys Swerve and Prince Nana. That was the end of it. That was the end of that. Again, the end of this was more entertaining than the beginning of this because the stuff with the Hurt Syndicate makes sense.
Yeah, they're the adults in the room handling business.
We get a Jamie Hayter promo that gets completely cut off by the new Julia Hart vignette. I did like the vignette, but again, I don't know why it had to cut off this promo.
10 pounds of shit in a few pound bag. Yep. That's why. And
then we get the main event again. This is another match for the tag, the tag team series that they've got going on. So it's going to be FTR versus House of Black. The winner of this is going to be placed in that 4-way for the tag team titles at Full Gear. I was super excited for this. I don't understand what we're doing with FTR these days, but they're kind of just there currently.
I see where you're going with that now. Not to kind of bury the lead here, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. I thought FTR putting House of Black over and the way they did it, it does nothing to hurt FTR and it does everything to raise the credibility of House of Black. And I am praying that Private Party, House Party, Dance Party, whatever the hell they're called. Yeah, whatever the fuck they're called. Forgive me.
House Party 2.
Yeah.
Jammy Jam.
I'm praying that they're transitional champs to the House of Black. I don't think they are, but I don't think
they are either. I like this match. Overall, I like this match. Honestly, the only part I didn't like was the actual ending of this match. Brody King just kills Dax. There's no point in having Dax kick out of 3 major moves that should be finishers just to have Brody choke him out. That just doesn't. I don't know. Did you get it? Because I didn't get it. That one I didn't get. I thought if they had him, if it was something where he nailed him with one of those lariats and then went for the pin and he kicked out and then he nailed him with a second one, and even if they did the fight, he kicks out and he looks like he's going to be all fired up again and he just wallops him with a massive third one and pins him. I think that would have been a little bit more. There would be more emphasis on that than the choke out.
See, I see where you're going with that, and I'm going to pose it to you this way. We've heard the phrase too tough for your own good. And I think that was part of the story there was Dax is too tough for his own good, and to get him out of there, like Brody King at that point, we've seen Gunther have those moments too, where he's in a match with somebody and it's okay, what is it going to take to beat this person? It's never a one-off. It's a powerbomb followed by a lariat, followed by a splash, followed by a boot, and just and that was the
same
final
matches.
And that's the final. Okay, enough now. We're done here. And it's
fair
more
enough.
it's almost merciful at that point.
Okay. See, that's why I needed to explain to me. For me, I would have went the other route with it, but I get it. But we get House of Black. What is it? The King of the Black Throne is what they're called when it's that incarnation. It's something like that.
I don't know, man. It's some kind of fantasy novel name about something that is
It's
pretty
some World of
damn
Warcraft
cool.
name.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I never played World of Warcraft, but I'm sure there's some neckbeard somewhere who is the king of the Iron Black Throne from the woods of somewhere,
Fair
holding
enough.
Excalibur.
Yes. But House of Black moves on. They get in. They go on to Full Gear. We get a handshake afterwards. I kind of like the respect show out of these two. Um, like I said, I didn't hate this match. I thought this was this was the one part of the show that I was looking forward to, and it didn't disappoint. With that said, let's move on to Collision. AEW Collision. What's funny is as much as so this show opens up with Mina Shirakawa versus Harley Cameron, and as much as I hated their backstage segment, I really liked their match.
Yeah, they did all right.
Like I literally I know this match was supposed to be booked as like or looked at as like a TNA match, and I don't mean like total nonstop action. I mean like T and A. But I know Mina Shirakawa can actually wrestle, and I think Harley Cameron is trying to prove that she's not just a crazy girl standing behind Saraya. I think she tried to actually have a match here, and it's funny because I wrote that, and then immediately the next move that Harley Cameron hits is she's rubbing her boobs on Mina Shirakawa's face. It's very deadly. It's a deadly move.
Listen, it's paralyzed me.
There. Here's the thing. Outside of that comedy spot, though, the match is actually pretty good. Mina hits a second rope sling blade, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I said, Harley doesn't have an overall bad showing. Mina wins cleanly. I like that Mina and Shirakawa works a leg a lot of times, and she does it way differently than a lot of people do. Like she hits this awesome shin breaker a lot of times, where she lifts him up like a normal like shin breaker over your knee, but instead of like putting her knee out, she just drops him to the mat.
Yeah.
Like there's little things like that I like that she does. Like I said, match wasn't bad. It was again, it was probably a B- match, which is better than I thought this match was actually going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it is. I mean, if you and I really sat down to dissect this match, I'm certain it would color it differently than we're talking about it right now. But it delivered past what expectations were. So good on them, and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. And maybe let's not use the vicious motorboat as a spot.
Or do it. Always.
When I was younger, maybe it's because I've become mature as I'm approaching my mid 40s.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, as I'm approaching my mid 40s, or it could be the fact that I have a teenage daughter. Or it could just be because I'm in my mid 40s and I'm like, I'm basically dead. So what does it matter?
There. All right. So next match is Daniel Garcia versus Johnny TV, also known as John Morrison, also known as Johnny Nitro, also known as Johnny Wrestling. He's had a lot of names. Johnny Impact.
Somehow always Johnny.
Always Johnny. Never John Hennigan, which is actually a pretty good name for a wrestler. I never understood why he didn't just use his real name.
What the hell did they call him in Lucha Underground? It was Johnny.
Johnny Mundo, wasn't he?
He was Johnny Mundo. God damn it.
I have a couple questions. One, why does Daddy Magic always and only commentate on Daniel Garcia matches? The other thing that I have here is that Johnny, Johnny fill in the blank, is huge, but he's looking a little rough these days, man. It looks like there's some city miles on there. I don't know if all whatever procedures he may have had done have come off the cleanest.
Okay, I mean, look, dude, he's God bless him. He's a journeyman. He's wrestled everywhere. Somehow kept only half of his name the entire time. It's impressive. It's mildly impressive that he's pulled that off. But I mean, look, the match was what it was, man. It's meh, and the whole Daddy Magic thing. I don't know, dude. It's weird. Maybe there's some underlying storyline coming up that we're unaware of right now.
Like, he's supposed to mentor him, I guess, but I don't know. I think I want to like Daniel Garcia more than I do. During the match, Jack Perry attacks Daddy Magic while the other two guys are on the floor, and he like goes and kidnaps him. The match gets a little sloppy and slow at points, but it's not a bad match. Garcia wins this, obviously. He's the one going into Full Gear. Finds out that Perry kidnapped Daddy Magic, and then by the end of this, these plans backfire on Jungle Boy, and he gets chained up to the hood of his own bus, and they drive him through like barricades and stuff. I all I have written here is that's not very babyface like behavior, right? Like, even if they had like tied him to the top front of his bus and then just left him there as like a joke, like I told you, I told you if you kept messing around, like you were gonna find out. I don't want, like, that would be funny to me at least. But like, there's nothing overly scary about Jack Perry to me. And I feel like he's not even crazy enough to be scary. You know what I mean? Like, you and I constantly make the joke that you will fight any human that's ever lived, and that's fine. And I am a big believer that like big guys don't scare me, angry guys don't scare me. People that scare me are crazy people, because crazy people are scary because you don't know what they're capable of. Jack Perry doesn't come off that way to me.
Okay, I'm going to say this way when it comes to Jack Perry. He's improving as a wrestler. He's improving on the microphone. He's a believable heel. He's also never gotten his ass kicked. He's that kid who thinks he's tough, who's never just been like, hey, here you go. And actually, he did get his ass kicked by CM Punk, who gets his ass kicked by everybody. So, like, in fact...
So what you're saying is we need to bring Mickey Gall in.
I'm saying Jon Moxley could beat up Jack Perry. In a Walmart.
There it is.
In a Walmart.
Oh, man. And then, wait, we get a match that I also am very confused by. Shelton Benjamin versus Commander. Again, I'm supposed to believe that this is going to be a competitive match. Shelton should break this guy quickly. Commander got way too much offense in. The fact that the name of the building they're in is like the MVP arena, and Nigel McGuinness goes, I mean, MVP owns the building. It's not that MVP. My exact line written here is, thank you, Nigel McGuinness.
Those are my favorite kind of commentary moments, because that's up there with a Tazism.
Oh, and absolutely.
And anybody who's listening who doesn't know what a Tazism is, I'm not going to go through them here, but Steve and I will call each other just to say them to each other from time to time. Go back and just look up the best, funniest moments of Taz on commentary back in the WWE.
Listen, go watch Billy Kidman versus Jamie Noble, Survivor Series 2003. That. Right there.
Is that the sleeves one?
That's the sleeves.
That's the sleeves one. it's a giraffe with its head between its legs.
During this match, you can actually visually see Shelton's frustration that he has to like work with this guy.
Yeah.
The match is too competitive. Shelton Benjamin wins clean because he should. And then we get what's essentially a squash match between Powerhouse Hobbs and Bulk Bronson. The crowd is like half into the match. The ending is a bit sloppy, but Hobbs gets the win. And like I said, this is a squash match. We get a another tag team qualifier, and this is the Acclaim versus LFI. They announced that the Acclaim have a stat of the most wins, the most tag team wins of any tag team in AEW, and that's 61. Like, that sounds cool, right? Until you realize that that's over 5 years. They've been a tag team since basically the beginning.
Yes, that tells me one of two things. One, they're really persistent. Two, that's 61 wins and how many losses. And then three, the AEW tag division is weak.
Well, and you know what else that tells me? Hound, how many weeks are there in a year?
If I carry the 9, 52?
So they have
Fucking nailed it.
Barely enough wins to cover a year's worth of weekly shows.
Yeah. Yeah, which means that they don't wrestle every week, but let's just for this thought experiment say that they did. They essentially go 1-4 every 5 matches.
Well, and here's the thing: we're not counting their trio stuffs with Billy Gunn or any of that stuff. Obviously, there are other matches that get sprinkled in there, but there's no way that a regular tag team should only have 61 wins in 5 years.
Again, man, 10 pounds of shit, 2-pound bag.
All right, so again, like I said, this seems like it shouldn't be celebrated. I don't understand why everyone just lets Roosh basically pistol whip them.
Yeah, man, it's, oh my God. Every time I watch him wrestle, and that's the thing, he's very talented, but I get into my worker mindset where if I had to share a ring with him,
and you were trying to take those liberties,
I'm terribly sorry, Roosh. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I would have dropped him on his head.
Yeah,
there would have been no pulling back, and everybody would have been like, "What happened?" I don't know. His face is dented in now.
Yeah, I don't know how his jaw got broken.
Yeah,
it would have been the Jerry Lawler thing. Did you break his jaw on accident, or was that on purpose? It was on purpose.
Yeah.
The Acclaim win the match. I'm hoping that when the Acclaim break up, which it seems to be what they're leaning towards, Anthony Bowens gets a really good push afterwards, because I love Bowens. I think he's the unsung hero of this tag team.
Anthony Bowens is fantastic, and I mentioned this one time when it was you, Showtime, and myself. If you want to see just how fantastic Anthony Bowens is and the fact that he's an actual star, there is a YouTube channel called Momentum dedicated to baseball. And Anthony Bowens is a part of that with this guy, Eric Sim, and it is hilarious. And you see the fact that Anthony Bowens is just a damn athlete.
He really is. He's so good. He's super smooth in the ring, too, man. Like, I really hope that I would like to see Anthony Bowens go after a mid-card title once they break up.
Exactly. And on top of it, Anthony Bowens can play some baseball.
That doesn't surprise me. And he's a Jersey boy.
I like him even more.
So from there, we move on to the main event of the evening. The main event. And that is Anna Jay challenging Mariah May, that rhymes, for the AEW Women's World Championship in a no DQ rubber match. The match gets jump started. I have a couple of things that I would have done differently to start this match off. One, I would have had, I know Mariah May is the champion, and traditionally the champion comes out second. This is one of those times I would have had Mariah May come out first. Have her say, I wanted to come out first. I wanted to soak in the adulation of all the fans that either love me or want to be me, all that jazz. This way, Anna Jay could have stormed the ring to attack her. Instead, Anna Jay walked out and was still just a normal babyface. Like, she still slapped hands on her way to the ring. This was not the match for hand slapping. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying to not do that ever. I'm saying this is not that match.
Yes, the gravity of the situation is not being portrayed there.
And I think we would have eliminated that if Mariah May went out first and Anna Jay had to storm to the ring to jumpstart the match.
Yeah, exactly. Like she should have been pissed off. Like it should have been a thing where tunnel vision, she didn't even see the fans.
Exactly. Little critique on Anna Jay. I overall do like her stuff, but some of the stuff she does, it seems like she takes a few too many steps to get there. It makes it seem like she's scurrying sometimes. And she's still young. She's still new. There's still things that are being wrinkles that are being ironed out. But the match overall, for what it's supposed to be, is pretty good. It seems like Mariah May is clearly leading this match. The one spot that I didn't get, and this is just me using my stupid gorilla brain. There's a point where they're both throwing chairs into the ring and staring at each other as they're throwing chairs into the ring. Instead of while one of them is looking under the ring to get another chair, the other one rolling in, grabbing a chair and using it on the other wrestler. Just a thought process. Just something there. There's during this match, so I complain about the picture-in-picture a lot. Here's where my complaint is going to be about the picture-in-picture here. They do the picture-in-picture, and a lot of stuff happens in the match during picture-in-picture. And you can't focus. It doesn't. This is supposed to be a violent match, and it doesn't highlight the violence of the match.
I can't keep excusing it as growing pains anymore. They've hit the point where in year 1, 2, or 3, that's acceptable. You're learning. You've now established a pattern. And so look, man, the match was fun. I thought the ladies did a fine job.
I think they did a great job overall. But Mariah wins, and this means Anna Jay can no longer challenge for the AEW Women's Championship.
Now, is that a hard stop or while Mariah has the title?
They have said that she's not. So here's the thing. Everything that they've said is she is not allowed to challenge for it. They haven't said while Mariah, like at no point have the words been. Now, it could be, that could be the loophole that they eventually say is Mariah loses the title and then Anna Jay gets a title shot. Well, you're not supposed to be allowed. No, it was just while Mariah was holding the title.
Yeah, because
it never gets said.
I could have sworn that was said early on with it, and it's just sticking in my head, or I could very well just be imagining that.
No, because when we talked about this last week, you asked me that, and Anna Jay never says it, and they never say it during commentary. So if it is, someone's not doing their job.
Yeah, or I'm just creating a narrative in my head which would make a better storyline.
Or Anna Jay's just going to the WWE. We'll see her on NXT in 3 months.
Maybe. I hope so for her sake.
Yeah, I definitely do. So we end the show with a Jon Moxley promo. I'm not going to critique the promo. I don't care what he has to say at this point.
Yeah.
My critique is we couldn't just end the show on the main event.
10 pounds of shit, 2 pound bag.
Yeah, we had to have Jon Moxley come out and talk. Like, I truly believe this. I really think this. That Jon Moxley, what's his name? Jonathan Good, Dean Ambrose, whatever name you want to call that man, believes that this gimmick is eventually going to come back around and the fans are going to cheer him. And I don't mean like in like a year or two when they're like oh, I'm making a little bit of a change to his character. I think like next week he thinks, like I think he thinks he's gonna get cheered at Full Gear.
I think this is Moxley's very misguided attempt to create a tribal chief. You see it now, don't you?
I see it now.
There you go.
I almost wish you hadn't said it because now I see it.
Yeah.
But like AEW had such little glimmers of fun. Like the Christian Cage Hangman match was good. FTR House of Black was good. Mina Harley was good. Anna J. Mariah May was good. Like some of these matches are good. And then they do this stuff and I'm like, oh, I don't care anymore.
And that's the problem. It's AEW has created a I almost caught myself speaking like I have to at these at the meetings with all of the bosses when I have to be in there and pretend I'm professional. But it's they've created a malaise. And that's the problem, is they've accepted it. I'm sorry that one or two bright spots cannot carry your show when the dim spots are so much dimmer than your bright spots.
I agree.
And that's the real issue there. It's they need to stop with the amount of just ancillary storylines that don't make sense. You can have two people have a match just because they're on your roster. And that's the only reason why they're wrestling. We don't need to know that somebody's uncle didn't tip somebody's aunt one time when they were out at a restaurant. Like, I don't care. Like your cousin's best friend's uncle's dog's owner. What does that make us? Absolutely
nothing.
Yeah. So it's I don't need the deep lore crap. And I think they're trying to cater to almost smarks.
Well, that's who they cater to, and that's the problem. Is you're gonna lose the casual fan. I keep saying this.
Yeah,
you should be trying to cater to the casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
The diehard is gonna show up every week.
Yeah,
you and I are gonna show up every week. If nothing else, it's our job. You know, like there's that aspect of it. There are people who are showing up every week regardless.
Yeah.
With that said, you need to get the people who aren't going to show up. Like I said, when I said it last week, you start off the show with the Hurt Syndicate and you see Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP and you're like, oh, this might be something good. And then the next match is Darby teaming with Orange Cassidy against Claudio and Pac. And we're supposed to believe that these other two guys are going to beat Claudio and Pac fairly.
Yeah.
It kills it. The suspension of disbelief gets killed. It's upsetting because there is talent there. And it's even more upsetting because there is talent behind the scenes that people are clearly not listening to.
Indeed.
But guys, we have griped enough. Hound, I'm going to toss it over to you. Anything you want to say to the lovely Legion?
Legion, as always, thank you for giving us your most precious resource, your time. We appreciate it, and God bless.
And as always, folks, we will see you soon, and tuck your chin when you bump.